In the early part of this century, especially leading up to the Iraq War, with Daniel's help and my speaking out, we tried desperately to just prevent that from happening. But the biggest frustration was the official lies told by the government, which continues even today. And I know you come across this because they're always building the crisis. We have to go, we're going to be destroyed. And most of those arguments can be destroyed rather easily, but we're up against the media because they perpetuate these lies. And even our Secretary of State, it doesn't hide behind them. He sort of tells lies and sort of gets giddy about it, which is disgusting as far as I'm concerned. But you know, we hear the lies in the foreign policy, but I just wanted to get a short comment, at least from you, on this, because today there was an economic report, and it was very, very favorable last month, a lot of new jobs, and that was exciting. But then there was a second report on today, and it turns out that when they recalculate and have adjustment of the figures, they found out that during the last 3 years, they made sort of mistakes, official mistakes, 520,000 lost jobs, and the figures are off, they're not accurate. So I come to the conclusion that we can't believe a thing they tell hardly on foreign policy, but have you been suspicious of some of the statistics that we hear from our departments? And it's bipartisan because you hardly ever hear them challenging each other on economic lies.
Yes, I am very, very skeptical about the information that's provided, again, throughout the years that I've been there, seeing how, whether it's in hearings or briefings or even one-on-one meetings or through the media, they'll present the narrative or only the portion of information that supports their goals and objectives, that makes them look the best or helps them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish, rather than presenting the full picture, both the good and the bad, saying, hey, here's where we screwed up, here's where the lessons got to be learned, this is where we need to improve, but this is what we're doing that's actually working, and it's something that needs to be sustained and maybe grown. We don't have those kinds of briefings, and even when I and other members of Congress try to press and get the facts, get the truth and information, we get what you're talking about here, sometimes a blatant out-and-out lie or a patronizing answer that says, oh, you're just a member of Congress, basically you don't know what you're talking about, not respecting the American people. And that's the injustice of this whole thing, is that too often we see folks coming into Congress and even whether in an open briefing or a closed briefing, really dismissing the representative form of government that we have. My skepticism predates my service as a member of Congress, given I served in a war that you fought against and tried to prevent, a war that was completely based on lies. And for me, I'm 22 years old. I enlisted in the Army National Guard, shipped off to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, a young private, and I believed what our leaders were telling us, the American people, that we had to go in and take out this bad guy, Saddam Hussein, because he was working with Al-Qaeda and he had these weapons of mass destruction, and this was necessary to protect the American people. I believe Colin Powell and the President Bush and Hillary Clinton and these other leaders in Congress who said this is what had to be done, almost unflinchingly, having faith that my leaders in this country would not lie to us. But that turned out to be completely false. And so I get criticized sometimes in my service on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, and just overall in Congress, that I'm asking serious, tough questions. I'm not accepting the information that anyone delivers just on face value. Instead, looking, where is the evidence, looking for the totality of information that can best inform the decisions that we make in Congress. And this is the same kind of approach that I'll take as president, not taking lightly the decisions and the consequences that I'll make as commander-in-chief.
Now I know why they don't like her up there, the establishment. She asks questions, she wants the answers. That's a dangerous position to hold.